My round of applause. Where are you from, bro? You right there. Iraq. You're from Iraq? Ew. I was fucking around. How long have you been here in the country?
23 years.
23 years? Are you a citizen yet? You are? Congratulations, nigga. Congratulations. Well, welcome to this great land.
You know, I'm going to give you a history lesson because I'm sure this wasn't on your entry exam. But every naturalized American has heard something about what I'm about to tell you. Picture it's the early 50s in the United States. This 14-year-old boy goes down from Chicago to Mississippi to meet his extended family for the first time. He'd never been to Mississippi. And before he went, his mother said to him, very pointedly, she said, if a white man looks you in your eyes in Mississippi, look away. And I don't know what you know about black people from Chicago, but they're not a scared people. Legend has it, he was in front of a convenience store hanging out with his cousins, having a good time, and a white woman walked out of the store, and he thought she was pretty, and he said, bye, baby, not realizing that he had just made a fatal mistake. 4 days later, a group of adult white men burst into this family's home and snatched a 14-year-old boy out of bed in front of his family that was powerless to stop them, and he was never seen alive again. His name was Emmett Till. They found his body maybe a few days later. It was in a creek, tied to a wheel so it would sink, horribly beaten and bloated. Hideous. And lucky for everybody in America, his mother was a fucking gangster. She was. If you can imagine, in the very midst of a mother's worst nightmare, this woman had the foresight to think about everybody. She said, leave my son's casket open. She said, the world needs to see what they did to my baby. And every publication here in the United States, from Jet Magazine all the way to the New York Times, had this boy's horribly bloated body on its cover. And if our civil rights movement was a car, this boy's dead body was premium gas. This was a very definitive moment in American history where every thinking and feeling person was like, ugh, we got to do better than this. And they fought beautifully, and here we all are. And the reason that I bring that up tonight and why it's relevant now is because less than a year ago, the woman that he allegedly whistled at admitted on her deathbed that she lied in her court testimony. And you can imagine when we read that shit, we was like, ooh, you lying ass bitch. Was furious. But that was my initial reaction. And initial reactions that we all learned as we get older are often wrong or more often incomplete. They call this phenomenon standing too close to an elephant. The analogy being that if you stand too close to an elephant, you can't see the elephant. All you see is its penis-like skin. You gotta step back and give it a better look. And on stepping back and thinking about it for a few moments, I realized that it must have been very difficult for this woman to tell a truth that heinous about herself at any point in her life, even the very end. And I was grateful that she had the courage to tell it before she left this world, because it's an important truth and we needed to know. And I said to myself, well, thank you for telling the truth, you lying ass bitch. And then time goes on, and then after time, you can kind of see the whole elephant. And it's humbling, because you realize that this woman lied, and that lie caused the murder. But that murder set in motion a sequence of events that made my wonderful life possible, that made this very night possible. How could this be that this lie could make the world a better place? It's maddening. And that's how I feel about this president.
I feel like this motherfucker might be the lie that saves us all. Because I have never felt more American than when we all hate on this motherfucker together. Jesus Christ, it's good. And when it happens, I can see everybody that's struggling.
So if I'm on stage and I tell a joke that makes you want to beat up a transgender, then you're probably a piece of shit and don't come see me anymore. Or if you don't understand that when a football player takes a knee during the national anthem, he's actually standing up for me, then you might not want to fuck with me anymore. But I swear, no matter how bad it gets,
you're my countrymen, and I know for a fact that I'm determined to work shit out with y'all. And if that woman that said that heinous lie was alive today, I would thank her for lying. And then I would kick her in the pussy. Thank you very much, Washington, D.C. God bless you, and good night.
and they all looked at me. They could tell who I was voting for just as easily as I could tell who they were voting for. But do you guys know what we all had in common? Not one of us, not a single one of us,
looked like we felt good about what we had to do in that booth. We were just doing our goddamn duty. Yes, I voted for Hillary Clinton. Of course I did. I voted for her because I liked what she said vastly better than I liked what he said. But to be honest with you, at that point, that shit was like watching Darth Vader do the I Have a Dream speech. That bitch is mean as hell. She had already Karate Kid swept Bernie Sanders' legs from underneath him.
Boy, it was hard voting for that shit. But it was the lesser of the evils. I know you were a Clinton supporter, Miss I. I'm sorry to say like that. It didn't feel bad voting for her, but it didn't feel as good as it should have. She was going to be our first woman president. They were going to make coins out of this bitch. And somehow she just missed the dunk. Of course she should have beat him. Of course she should have beat him. You know what voting for her felt like? It was bittersweet. It felt like I was
lucky enough to eat Halle Berry's pussy. And whilst I was doing so, she fucking farted in my face, man. Now you understand, I'd still do it. But boy, I wish she didn't fart in this great nation's face. I voted that day, and then that same day I flew to New York City.
I had work. That night I was in a comedy club in New York, and I said to an audience almost exactly what I just said to you. And I didn't know that there was a journalist in the room. And this journalist wrote an article. The headline of the article said, Dave Chappelle is an avid Donald Trump supporter. Yeah, I had no idea the paper said that. And you know how I found out? My wife called me from Ohio the next morning in a goddamn panic. David, what the fuck is going on in New York? I said, I'm being good, but what have you heard?
And my wife said, the paper is saying that you're a Donald Trump supporter. I was like, whew. I said, don't worry about that shit, baby. Nobody in their right mind would believe that. And she said, no, David, people believe it. And then she started reading the comments to me. Oh, they were terrible. All these black people call me all kinds of Uncle Toms and shit. I should tell you, buddy, this is a very serious allegation from one black to another.
I was incensed. Uncle Tom? How am I Uncle Tom, nigga? You the one that reads the Observer? Anyway, all this shit goes down, and Saturday night rolls around, and now Trump is the president, and I'm host of Saturday Night Live. And I didn't really prepare my monologue. I just kind of winged it. And at the end of the monologue, I don't even remember what I said. I said something like, fuck it, we're historically disenfranchised, and we're going to give him, something about we're going to give him a chance if he gives us a chance. I don't know what I said, but whatever I said, I really wish I didn't say that shit. It was not worth the trouble. Now I walk into the barbershop and all them black people just be looking at me like, yo, Dave, what's up with your boy? Yo, nigga, yo! Not my boy. Because I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, if you support him or not, any objective person is going to have to admit that this motherfucker is having a terrible go of it. It really is. We've had presidents before that have done bad jobs, but this shit is worse than a bad job. It's scary to watch. Holy shit, it's like seeing a crack pipe in your Uber driver's passenger seat. The fuck is wrong with this guy? Yo, he is lunching, nigga. I watched Donald Trump in a press conference, and this motherfucker had all the media gathered, and this nigga literally asked the media to their face to stop finding shit out. I was like, yo, this motherfucker is bugging. And then, I'm not even making this up, his lips started sweating.
Hosted a gala event at the African American Museum in Oakland, California, to celebrate season 2 of their critically acclaimed original series, Iconoclasts.
The iconoclast comes along and breaks things up, shakes it up.
I think it's that unique gift of recognizing truth and trying to live by it.
Grey Goose Entertainment and Sundance Channel teamed up to produce a unique series that will change the way you see celebrity. This week's Iconoclast pairing, Dave Chappelle and Maya Angelou.
I was ready for anything because iconoclast comes from the Greek icon and plastic, which means to break down the icon. And I didn't know whether they thought I might break him down or he might break me down.
It's really actually a smart marriage because it's so different that you're curious and they bring something to one another that the other would not have had or not have experienced.
I really came here to thump the drum for Iconoclast and for the Sundance Channel. Dave Chappelle is among the best we have. We talked and talked and talked. The truth is, I think we lifted each other up.
It was such an incredible experience to film Dr. Maya Angelou, spending time with Dave Chappelle, a guy whose humor comes from challenging racial stereotypes. You would think that she would find some of that humor to be potentially offensive, and yet they had this incredible bond, this incredible exchange of ideas.
This is me. I'd still be angry.
You said anger, yes. You dance it, you march it, you talk it. Never stop talking it.
This is the hot button stuff here.
There is a true debate of different points of view and a passing of the baton from one generation to the next.
Iconoclast is a beautiful clashing. So when you put all these folks together, Dave Chappelle and Maya Angelou doesn't seem to mix. For the audience to see the connection between what each one does visually creates the dynamic that I think is very entertaining. When you look at it, you go, wow.
And now, the Sundance original series Iconoclasts with Dave Chappelle and Maya Angelou.
There are people who had told I'm going to be talking with Dave Chappelle. You? No, Dr. Not you.
It's a pretty odd pairing, even by my standards. She's probably written more books than I've read.
I usually speak very softly, and I have a huge voice.
She's talking about people she knew, like I was with my dear friend Malcolm. And if you say that to me, I'm thinking Jamal Warner. She's talking Malcolm X.
He's so intelligent that he doesn't want people to know how smart he really is.
America does not invade countries that have weapons of mass destruction. That shit is dangerous.
Now that's being smart.
Good deal. Man, thanks, bro.
It's time to bring to the stage the man you all came to see. Give it up for Mr. Dave Chappelle!
started doing stand-up when I was 14, and that's pretty much all I've ever done.
I myself had the most dangerous job in Washington, D.C. I used to deliver pizzas for Domino's.
I feel like I was groomed for it, and you can just say whatever's on your mind. I got to the top of my field. It was quite the climb, and then I walked away from it.
Dave Chappelle shocked everybody when he walked away from his very popular Comedy Central show and a $50 million contract last year. And people are still wondering what the heck happened to him.
Now, since I walked away, it's like it's better than ever.
As happy as y'all are to see me, I'm happier to see you. It's no fun when it's just me by myself. I learned that shit the hard way. Or as you guys call it, season 3, the lost episodes. The episode wasn't lost, nigga, the host was.
Okay, I think we're ready to go. Dr. Angelo, can I start the music? Are we
Please
good?
do.
Okay, and Scott, we're ready with the music. Okay, in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. I'm an American, and most of the time proud of it.
We will rise again, and still we rise.
Even when I'm displeased with what my country is doing, I am still an American who is displeased. And fortunately, being an American, I don't have to whimper. I don't have to whine. I have the right to protest, and I like that. I am Maya Angelou. You're listening to Oprah and Friends on XM 156.
I've been in Winston-Salem 25 years. I came to speak at Wake Forest, thinking that I'd never see this part of the South again. But Wake Forest started to woo me. The university offered me the Reynolds Chair. And I realized after about, half the semester, that if I had taught before I'd written books, I might never have written a book. I love it. And I'm a serious teacher. Serious.
102 Jams, the hip-hop station. Cap J came in and said, he found out last night that Dave Chappelle was in town. Was Dave Chappelle really in town last night? Dave Chappelle, holla! Holla at us, man. We broke, bitch!
Dave Chappelle, he's funny and he's very bright. People started laughing the moment I said his name. And then others said, you're going to talk to him? And I wondered what was that about. And they said, his language.
What the fuck? No! Fuck that, nigga. Fuck it. I'm on my way.
Hey, I'm excited. And I'm a little nervous. I meet a lot of people. Very few people I meet are like national treasures. She's beyond us with that. She's like iconic. Heads of states revere her, and artists revere her, and people in the public revere her. It's intimidating.
Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. There were people who were wondering, would I speak to him because I'm almost 50 years older than he? And that's just who I should be speaking to. And that's just who he should be speaking to.
See, this kind of meeting is kind of like a meeting of generations. When somebody my age goes to meet somebody that age, is a built-in level of respect. I've seen thugs in the middle of a fight stop fighting when older people come around.
I'm so excited. So excited.
Is this her house?
Yeah.
Oh, this place is cool. Beautiful Winston-Salem. Quiet neighborhood. Publicists and camera crew hiding in the side, acting like this isn't a television show. Let's get Hey, man.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
I was just in the neighborhood with the camera crew and some lights and trucks and figured I could
That's
stop
amazing.
by.
We were wanting somebody to come over with a whole bunch of cameras and trucks.
How are you, man?
Man, I'm good, man.
Dr. Angelo.
Oh, my goodness, how
Good
are
to see you
you?
again.
Wonderful to see you again.
It's so good to be here.
Thank you.
I was nervous to come see you.
I'm so understanding of that. I was nervous a little bit.
No, you
Yes, I was a little bit.
Not to meet me. I figure like, well, you're an iconic figure.
Yeah.
I'm a pop culture figure. That's much different.
I don't know. Sometimes the iconic figure began as a pop culture.
There you go. That's a good point.
I know the title, iconoclast. It really means to break up the icon. An icon is that figure held high by the majority. And that's from the Greek icon. And klastis means breaking. The iconoclast is he or she who breaks up old ideas. I have a feeling that you're going to lift up the icon. It is my intention to lift you up.
Well, thank you. Likewise.
I wanted to ask you, how do you operate? What is your way of writing your characters?
A lot of this stuff that I do is very intuitive, and almost all of it comes from stuff that I observe. I think more so than that I lived through.
Don't you think it was like a little suspicious? Every dead black person the police find has crack sprinkled on them. Come on, man. Who gets shot and sprinkles crack on themselves? Nobody would do that. Bam!
I was 14 when I started. So, what are you going to say about yourself when you're 14? There's not much to say. Everything is happening outside of yourself. So a lot of things that I do, I'm talking about myself in some ways inadvertently or indirectly. It's cathartic without being obviously cathartic.
But that's true with writing, too.
Right.
Right. Very much the same. The writing becomes the greater life. I keep a hotel room in my town, wherever I live, and I leave my house about 5:30 in the morning.
My goodness.
And so I go into my room. I close the door. Once I'm there, I will go and I'll kind of cleanse myself. I don't know how to do that. But I get on anything that happened last night or on the drive over there, away from me. So I'm back with my work.
You know what's different about their process than mine? That's almost like a quantum leap different. It's the absence of people. I need the people so bad. I can't write in a vacuum. And sometimes the inspiration won't hit you until you're in front of the people. And then you look at somebody's face and you be like, this might be interesting. I'll tell this person about that.
Anyone here ever get divorced? What happened, man? What broke you up? Just open up, man. I'm Montel, nigga. Just tell me everything.
Because I need people so much for my process, something about celebrity interrupts the process.
Oh, I see.
Because in order to do what I do, I have to be comfortable with making mistakes. The saying being nothing is more painful than watching a comedian grow. When Chappelle's show first broke big, the stand-up thing was a little hard for me because it changed. I would walk on stage and I had like this rock star energy. People were listening to me different. They weren't even really listening. I'd walk out on stage and I'd be like, hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm Rick James, bitch. Oh, I'd be a lady in the front row crying like I'm the Beatles. I can't believe he's in front of me. Oh. Camera phones in my face, and I was like, I don't like this as much.
Listen to what's happening. People are shouting out shit at me that I've already said in TV and movies. I'm like a comedy jukebox. Then they just put a quarter in me. I deserve to die.
What used to be a real connection between me and the audience had become more superficial.
What happens to you when you get a bigger laugh, or a laugh when you didn't expect one, or a bigger one than you expected? What happens on that occasion? Then I want to know what happens when you expected the laugh and nothing happened.
That's very interesting. With laughter, when I'm at my best, I'm not looking for it.
Lovely.
But you kind of get sensitive to how people laugh. When I left my show was because I did this sketch, and I knew what I intended. I don't want to be co-opted or subverted. I don't want to be my own worst enemy or be used against myself. And that's what happens to public people. I think that's why I'm so fascinated by the group of artists that you came from. Like James Baldwin. That kind of blows my mind. These are people who, we have postage stamps up.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, and these are your crumbs. Yeah, these are your homies, so to speak.
Yeah.
Did you know Malcolm X?
Oh, my dear. Yes, very well.
He's a truly American phenomenon.
Yes. So is Martin.
No, absolutely.
The two of them were both friends of mine. So when you talk to me, you're talking at once in history, but to my life.
So every human grouping, whether it's just two people, a family, people in the neighborhood, people in the city, in a nation, a tribe, a species, people live in direct relation to the heroes and the sheroes they have.
There was a certain consciousness that was the backdrop of my upbringing. You know, we would have like Malcolm X pictures hanging up in our house. Kind of a counterculture upbringing, like the things that I knew about that I was starting to understand were not in everybody's homes.
At Martin King's request, I rejoined the Southern Christian Leadership Conference because I had left him to go to Malcolm.
Was it really separated movements like that?
Oh, my goodness. When Malcolm was in the States, it was so separated. Malcolm even made Martin look like a Tom until he understood what was happening.
Right.
But that's a wonderful thing about the icon. You continue to grow and you develop courage, the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. If you've seen another truth and had enough courage to change your way of thinking, to say, hey, everybody, you know what I said last week? I don't believe that anymore. A little child just straightened me out. This was the mark of Martin and of Malcolm. So when Malcolm X came to Africa and came to us in West Africa, in Ghana, he said, I have met blue-eyed, blonde-haired white men at Mecca, and I can call them brother. I've learned not all whites are the devils.
It's important for you to talk about these people and remind me of their humanity, because as icons, the level of virtue they have seems impossible.
This is why it's dangerous to make anybody seem larger than life. Because a young person coming up sees this larger than life figure, this outrageously gigantic personality, and has to say, I can never be that. I can never do that.
Absolutely.
You see, when the truth is, those men and those women were in the right place at the right time and got hold of something. And something caught hold of them.
This is something that I just now, in this stage of my life, I'm getting an appreciation for. And maybe being a public person kind of helped me appreciate it. But what the 60s must have been like for anybody. What was it, 8 or 9 assassinations? What does that do to a generation? Having lived through that and having known those people. This is me. I imagine I'd still be angry. I'd be angry at my country. I'd be angry at anybody who let that happen to my friends.
Oh, if you're not angry, you're either a stone or you're too sick to be angry. You should be angry.
But what do you do?
Now, mind you, there's a difference. You must not be bitter.
That's a hard.
Let me show you why. Bitterness is like cancer. It eats upon the host. It doesn't do anything to the object of its displeasure. So use that anger, yes. You write it, you paint it, you dance it, you march it, you vote it, you do everything about it, you talk it. Never stop talking it. I have a thesis, and that is that human beings are more alike than we are unalike. That's what being an American is like. We look so differently, and yet we are all Americans. It's such an exciting thesis.
You've written books, you teach, and you're from a time when the society would tell you that these types of things are probably not even in the realm of possibility. The fact that you even live abroad a global perspective, pre-globalization almost.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
I attribute it to love. Love is a condition so powerful. It may be that which holds the stars in the firmament. It may be that which pushes and urges the blood in the veins. Courage. You have to have courage to love somebody because you risk everything. Everything. I started learning courage from my grandmother who raised me. I had been with her from the time I was 3 until I was 7. And then I was taken up to St. Louis, to my mother's people. They were erudite. They were very sophisticated. I was there a couple of months when my mother's boyfriend raped me. The man was put in jail for 1 day and night and released. When the police came into my grandmother's house, they came in and told her that the man had been found dead, and it seemed he was kicked to death. They said that within my hearing. I decided that my voice had killed the man, so I wouldn't speak. I spent 6 years of my life as a mute, and words became very important to me.
I think words aren't what hurts people as much as the intentions behind words. So I think that's been one of the reasons why I can say some pretty ugly words that would traditionally hurt people, but when they hear it, they feel like this doesn't hurt me because they can feel the intention behind the word, just in how I'm using it.
If y'all ever listen to Malcolm X, he used to say some deep shit. Listen to this. He said, in America, there are house niggas and there are field niggas. And he broke it all down. He said the house nigga lives in the house with the master. He loves the master. He wears the same clothes as the master. Eats the same food. He loves the master more than he loves himself. Field nigga, on the other hand, sleeps outside. Food is bad. Clothes are bad. They beat him unreasonably. And he hates the master's fucking guts. And then Malcolm said, I am a field nigga. And I say the same thing. I'm a field nigga that somehow managed to find his way into the house.
I believe that a word is a thing. It is non-visible and audible only for the time it's there. It hangs in the air. But I believe it is a thing. I believe it goes into the upholstery and into the rugs and into my hair and into my clothes and finally even into my body. I believe that words are things and I live on them. I look at the word, the N word, which I really am obliged to call it that, because it was created to divest people of their humanity.
Absolutely.
Now, when I see a bottle come from the pharmacy, it says Poison, and then there's skull and bones, then I know that the content of that thing, the bottle is nothing, but the content is poison. If I pour that content into Bavarian crystal, it is still poison.
Well,
I'm just saying. Mind you, it's just an idea that words are things.
There's a particular rapper who's a good friend of mine. This guy, his name is Mos Def. And we were having a conversation about that word in particular. What was initially used to dehumanize us, we adopted and speak of camaraderie with it. This is a mutual struggle. And he said, I know you're gonna just crush me in a minute. So
No, sir.
I'm telling you,
How? My darling, how? You're my grandson.
No, I understand.
How can I not listen to you and be elevated by you and taught something?
Elevated is a strong. I mean, I know this is the hot button stuff here.
I don't care. Do you? I think I need to talk to you, and I need you to talk to me.
I need to talk. I need to listen. I'm scared of you right now. But I'm just kidding.
And then this time.
No, I'm just kidding. But he said something to the effect of, it used to be an exclusive word, that when they spoke that word about you, it would exclude you. And he said what was interesting now is that culturally the pendulum shifted so far the other way, where it's cool to be black, that now it's exclusive the other way. Contrary to popular belief, in the core of who I am, I don't think in terms of race. But I know that being a black man, I just have a very unique experience on this earth. People like Richard Pryor or any artist, they can relate this experience as a black person, and then they see all these white people come to their shows, and the media will be like, well, aren't you surprised that so many white people like what you're saying? No, because it's a human experience.
You know, in the past, I used to always tell a lot of jokes about white people. And I know there's a lot of white people here with us tonight. Good evening, whites.
Everybody knows what it's like to be embarrassed or to feel marginalized. The implication is authority. Nobody likes authority figures.
When I say jokes about white people, don't think for a second that I'm talking about you. Don't forget, I almost had $50 million once. When you make enough money in America, they'll pull back the curtain and introduce you to the real white people. You guys just think you're white.
Dave Chappelle is very intelligent. He's well raised. That goes without saying. A person who is well raised knows to respect the elders. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with anything, even a little bit of what the elder says, but you respect the elder for surviving. May I tell you about the painting?
Oh, yeah.
I have what is considered to be a serious collection of African-American art.
Do these paintings all have stories behind? Like you met most of the artists who painted these?
Yes. Over there is considered John Bigger's masterwork. It's called Kumasi Market from Ghana.
Does it remind you of being there when
yes,
you were
very much.
It takes you back?
Very much. You see the arms of the women. John Biggers was one painter who always painted the way Black Americans looked and Africans looked. So you can see the black and the brown and the beige and the gold.
That is beautiful.
Now straight ahead, the large painting is Phoebe, and it was painted for Jacqueline Kennedy and for Coretta Scott King. And it's called The Funeral Will Not Let You Forget.
The title's as poetic as a...
I know.
What about this one with the gentleman with the cigarette? I can't take my eyes off.
That was given to me by my brother. And he asked that I put it as the last piece I see before I go into the bedroom, and that my husband would see, so that we could say to each other, stop it. Whatever you said earlier, forget it.
That's hilarious. I like that picture.
I like it too.
Are these family members?
Oh, that's my great-grandmother who had been a slave. And when slavery was abolished, she named herself Kentucky Shannon. She said because she loved the sound of it.
When I was asked to do the show, I had seen her speak in Dayton. She was talking a lot about her life experiences. And when I watched her speak that particular night, there's a lot of things she said that resonated.
I didn't know until today that you had asked for me.
Oh, yeah, man.
I didn't know until today.
I told you, my mother and my godmother had tickets to see you in Dayton, and I went with them. And you were so incredibly engaged and poignant. That was as if you were talking just to me. And at that particular time, it was right after I walked away from my show. And he was saying things that I needed to hear that I rarely said, so.
It's important, if not, in fact, imperative, that each knows that there's a line beyond which you will not go. When lots of money is dangled before people's eyes, many times they will tell you yes when they know no, because it's dangled before their eyes and because of you. And some will say, damn, Jack, you're giving this up? They mean that I'm not making this money because you've given it up. I know it. I know it too well. Very well. But the thing is, you have some place that nobody, kith nor kin, can take you beyond. Somewhere in the bend of your elbow. You see?
I was gonna go look at the sculpture. Man, you being her grandson. And be real, you take some of this for granted, don't you? National Arts Club, New York City, New York, November 10th, 1994.
That piece is Ed Dwight, the leading African-American sculptor in the nation. That has Mary McLeod Bethune, Sojourner Truth, and Harriet Tubman. With the hands clasped, that's Miss Elizabeth Catlett.
You're not gonna believe this. I got this one. This is from the Duke Ellington School of the Arts.
Well, you know, Grandma gave that one to the school.
Oh.
Yeah. If there's a Duke Ellington piece, do you see the Duke Ellington piece?
Yeah, I got the award. From my high school. Yeah.
That's also Ed Dwight.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't shake my old high school. I don't know what Travis Brothers from, but Sam Jackson's in it. Behind this guy actually.
Maybe did something magic in there.
He did do something magic. He fasted for long periods of time till the British disappeared. My grandmother used to have art like this, African art. You'll see your dad will take you to Africa. I gotta take my son. I hear people say when I go to Africa, I have this feeling like I'm home. It's overwhelming feeling. So when I got to South Africa, it's like I felt like I was home. But that's because there was a McDonald's at the airport. So
Here we are. The biscuits recipe, and they did rise up pretty nice.
They did, man.
Yes. We do have some fried apples, excellent with chicken. You know, there's never, ever been a peace treaty or an armistice or just a meeting when anybody get together that food did not play an important part of it.
This is more than I expected.
she's black from the South, and in America at the time when being black in the South was probably a really difficult existence on a lot of levels. And she survived all of that. She just stepped out from underneath the oppression and kind of soaked up what life could be. You look at her now, towards the end of her life, she has a room full of people who love her, respect her. She got her dignity intact. She's graceful. It can be done.
This is called On Aging, which I wrote as a song. When you see me walking stumbling, don't study and get it wrong. Tired don't mean lazy. Every goodbye ain't gone. I'm the same person I was back then. A little less heart, a little less chin, some less lungs and some less wind. But ain't I lucky I can still breathe in.
Oh,
Hey.
I love it.
Yeah.
She just shows me like, okay, this is all what life is about. This life is happening as we speak. Oh, happy birthday. Wow, that's right. 33. Nice. The last fun birthday is 21. After that, it's like, just shut the fuck up. When I was younger, if they called me and was like, do you want to do a run on the road? I could go out 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Didn't make a difference to me. Now I got kids, like 2 weeks, I come back and like, it's like, is that a mustache growing? It's like the kids change. You can see the differences. And it makes you just appreciate time more. and appreciate that life is a linear journey. So, what's it going to be about?
One of the things I've learned, or am even still in process of learning, is to don't pick it up and don't lay it down. When someone says, you're the best, you're the greatest, you're the most wonderful, you're the finest and the artist of the time and blah, blah, you say, If you pick that up, you also have to pick it up when they say, you're nothing, you lost it, you used to be, and what happened then? So I don't pick it up, I don't lay it down. Let me tell you why. Let me say this. Let me tell you why now. John Singleton was doing his movie, Poetic Justice, and he asked, would I come out to Los Angeles and do a cameo? I walked out of my trailer that morning, and there was one young man cursing like you could see the blue come out of his mouth. Ooh. And then he and another fellow, they were at each other's throats. They had each other's clothes. So I went up to one young man, and I said, excuse me, may I speak to you? He said, I wouldn't give... I said, I understand that. But may I speak to you for a minute? He said, if these moves... I said, I've heard that before. But do you know how important you are? Do you know that our people slept, lay spoon fashion in the filthy hatches of slave ships, in their own and in each other's excrement and urine and menstrual flow, so that you could live 200 years later? Do you know that? Do you know that our people stood on auction blocks so that you could live? He said, I said, no, but I just wonder, when's the last time anyone told you how important you are? And he started the tears started to come out. I had no Kleenex or anything, so I just wiped his face with my hands and talked to him. And Miss Janet Jackson came. She said, Los Angelo, I don't believe you actually talked to Tupac Shakur. So I didn't know Tupac Shakur. I didn't know Six Pack. I had never heard the name. Because in my life and my age group, you understand, I didn't know that. Tupac's mother wrote me a letter. She said her son had called her right after I had spoken to him. And she wanted to thank me. She said, you may have saved his life. And I thank you, Dr. Angelo.
In that one story, she painted a more human picture of him than the entire media did during his career, People were afraid of Tupac. The media made him like he was a scary thing. And she talked about him like he was a young man in a confusing and difficult situation. And that's kind of what I like about Dr. Angelo. Because I know I'm not perfect and whatever, but it's something that she can look at me and she can kind of put the picture together. She knows I'm just a dude trying to figure it out.
Each of us has a chance to be somebody. And it's my delight that you would ask for me so that I could have the pleasure, the joy, the thrill of talking to you so that I can be somebody. I am Maya Angelou, and I'd like you, my audience, write to me, tell me what you think. I want to talk to all of you. So please tell me, what is it like to be in America?
It's not over. Whenever you hear about me and they be trying to talk that shit with the sad music, Dave Chappelle had it all. Don't be believing that shit. That was a choice that I made. I'm cool with that choice. I'm fine with that choice.
He's a funny man. Dave Chappelle looks at an ordinary thing and turns it a little to the side, twists it, and it becomes funny.
It's not like I can't get another job. People be calling me. They don't be asking me to come over there, but you know how they be saying it slick, like, Marriage had a bad breakup. We'd never do that to you. All of this could be yours. Wait a minute. Thank you, DC. I love you. I couldn't think of a better way to spend my birthday.
I think this is like what Muddy Waters calls the crossroads. So it's hard to imagine what's beyond the crossroad. You know what? It's funny. Now that I'm 33, I have no idea what to do. What would I want to see happen at my 77th birthday party? All right, I'm flipping through my photo album, and I say, this is me with Barack Obama, the first black president of the United States. I want to be able to say that. And then I flip the picture, and I say, this is when they were signing the peace accord for the Middle East. And like, maybe my kid will be a comedian, and he'll never talk about race.
I'm able to believe we can change. And that's what keeps me alive. Hope. Yes. And just look at where we came from.
I was so focused on talking to her that I forgot I was having this conversation potentially in front of America. This is a life-changing experience. And which ways or how it is,
who knows?
I don't know.
Indeed, no.
But I know I'm not going to forget it. I know I'll be bragging to somebody about it.
All right now.
And hopefully I'll see you around, maybe on the lecture circuit. I'll be out telling my dirty jokes while you're doing it.
Let me tell you a joke. Let's see. I think that Dave Chappelle and I are soulmates. He thinks quite profoundly for a person of 33.
It was another humbling experience, but unlike all other humbling experiences, it was fun. She was the teacher, and I was a student. Did I get a lot to think about today? Absolutely. That I touched on one who was a pivotal part of my history and witness to my history? Absolutely. Will my mother be impressed? Yeah. Absolutely.
There's too much shit out there to stress you out. This whole world is drug-infested, hate-infested, drug-infested world. Hate drugs. I heard the worst drug story. You know what my friend told me? You know what he's dealing with? His landlord is hooked on crack. That's terrible. That's pressure. If your landlord's hooked on crack, that means you've got to have the rent. He come around all the time. You got the rent. It's not even due yet. It's the 10th. Come on, I need it. Let me just get $20 of it now, and then just give me the rest of the month. Every couple hours. Hey, look, I'm going to need some more of the rent. Building's falling apart. Things came up. Comes home early from a party. Landlord's in the crib going through his shit. What are you doing in my house? Ah! Where's the sink? I came to fix it. It's in the kitchen. I thought it was in the drawer. I'll fix it tomorrow when I come for the rent. You know what I hate about drugs? I hate when like people my age and older get hooked on crack. I hate that shit. You're too old to be experimenting with the drugs at a certain point. You should be past that. You ain't doing it by a certain point. You just miss it. Drugs are really for old people anyway. You 75, you've earned the right. Shit, if I was 75, I'd do coke, heroin, everything. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be walking down the street, they'd be like, boy, that old man is tripping. Can't do everything. Maybe weed. If you're gonna do something, do a little weed. Smoke some weed. Weed's not as bad as everything else. Weed is a background substance. You know what I mean? You can smoke some herb and still function. And you ain't crisp, but you'll function. Nothing higher than weed, though. I made that mistake one time. I was at a party, some guy gave me some shit. He's like, here, man, take this. It's fucking mushrooms. I took it. I forgot all about it, you know. Then a couple days later, I found that shit in my pocket. I'm thinking, why not? Because I'm thinking it's like weed, some background shit. I planned my whole day out like it was weed. I'll chew this shit up. Then I'll go to the barbershop, get my hair cut, and then I'll see a movie. chewed it up. So far, so good. Then I was in a barber shop like an hour later. And it's funny because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, ooh, this stuff sucks. Tastes like athlete's foot. I feel sick, but I'm not really high. Then I looked in the mirror. I saw the barber's reflection, man. It looked like a big penis was cutting my hair. I freaked out. I started talking to myself, Dave, calm down. You're on drugs. This is what drugs do. Okay, you know that there is no way that a penis can cut hair. But I started freaking out, man. I just couldn't take it anymore. I jumped out the chair. Half my hair was cut. I didn't care. I didn't. I just gave a barber a handful of money. It was weird. The balls opened up. Anyway,